Greetings and welcome back to the Dragonball Daima episode reviews. This is episode 17, and just like always, there will be spoilers in this review. If you do not want to be spoiled, please make your way over to watch the episode, enjoy the episode, and then make your way back to this review. And let me know in the comments below, did I miss something? Did I forget something? Did I say something wrong? Did I look at something wrong? Whatever it may be, leave it below in the comments, and let's get into the episode because my God, did this episode look freaking fantastic. Look, this whole series has looked really fantastic, but you can definitely tell that the budget they have for this definitely was making its way towards these last several episodes, and we're going to be able to tell. You can tell. Were there some frames where, obviously wasn't as super detailed as others? Sure, that's an animation. Even in the best of animations, you can find some frames that don't look as polished and clean and beautiful as the rest, but the visuals in this episode were incredible. The particle effects in this episode were incredible. This episode looked fantastic. Like, it looked so damn good. But that's not all y'all want to talk about. What y'all want to talk about is, did it finally kick off with the action? And it did, absolutely. From the jump, it started off with this action. So we jump off with the episode right away where we ended last episode with this episode. Well, sort of last episode. So last episode, Risu, Do, and Ku confronted Goku and the company. So they start talking about it and they realize that they have the Dragon Balls. So, and Risu was like, I got mine. You got your two. Let's why don't we have a fight to decide who gets the Dragon Balls, right? And they're like, what do you want the Dragon Balls for? And Amrisu's like, of course, I want it to be the Supreme Demon King. I want to make this realm the most feared realm, that even the outer world bow down to me. Like, she was straight up saying, like, when I'm going to use these to become Demon King, and when I'm Demon King, I'm going to make even the outside mortal realm bow down to the demon realm. And Shin, confronts her, and he's like, oh, dear sister, just like Degasu, huh? And, of course, she's like, I have vision. Degasu doesn't have vision and stuff like that. And he tries to kind of charm his way to seeing if she'll listen, and, of course, she won't listen. So, again, she comes back to, hey, you have Dragon Balls, I have a Dragon Ball, let's fight. Winner take all. And in this moment, we have a moment where Glorio's like, what is she up to? So, again, I think I said it a couple of reviews ago, Glorio had no idea that she was going to do anything with Do and Ku, let alone that they were going to be a thing, right? He had no idea. So is the theory that me and a friend of mine have been hopefully having, that Glorio's might truly be the final villain? Well, to be honest, a lot of it looks like that's going to be a no. However, I want to point something out real fast. So my friend pointed out to me in a video not too long ago that Geekdom 101 brought up that Gomah was not going to be the final villain, that the final villain was going to be a twist villain. And this is where his mind went as to why he went down the path with Glorio, right? Because, Geekdom 101's like, Gomah's not the final villain. The story tells you that he's the final villain, but he's not truly the final villain. It's going to be a crazy twist villain. Well, Gomah can't be the twist villain, right? So that's where this theory that we were like, it has to be Glorio. It's the only one that logically would be the biggest twist in the series, because everyone else is painted to either be clearly a good guy or clearly a bad guy. But then apparently he was watching stuff the other day, and Geekdom 101 basically pulled back on that and was like, yo, it's actually just Gomah the whole time. I'm like, that's not a twist villain. So any of you that see the reviews and you're like, yo, motherfucker, yo, fool, you said there was going to be a Glorio. Look, could we be completely, fooled in the last few episodes of the series and Glorio become the big bad? I mean, we could, but at this point, I just don't see it. It seems like Dragon Ball went the safe route with Gomah being the final big bad in the end. And look, is it obvious? Yes, it was obvious. From the jump, they told you it was going to be Gomah, and we were just kind of hopeful that, Dragon Ball would do something different and make the big final boss villain a character that may have been hinting at throughout the series, but never really gave much credit to being it. But so you know what? I'll admit that unless Glorio, something drastically changes in the last few episodes and it becomes Glorio, clearly the theory that me and my friend had is just wrong. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I was hopeful. It didn't happen. So enough of my little spiel about that. Let's get back to the fighting. Let's get back into the action of the episode. So Do Goku says, hey, I'm going to fight. And of course, Vegeta's like, no, I'm going to fight. They try to do, and Vegeta's like, let's do Rochambeau, let's do rock, paper, scissors and all this stuff. Bulma's like, Vegeta, stop being a child. Aren't you an adult? Let Goku have his turn. You did go last time. So Goku's like, yep, I'm fighting. So he jumps into fight. Ku is gonna confront him. He even like starts walking over there, and Arisu's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ku's like, well, I'm gonna fight him. I'm strong enough. And she's like, yeah, strong enough isn't gonna be enough. So she calls in Do, and this is kind of, and this fight with Goku and Do is kind of like, it's kind of like a weird pseudo rematch. Now, hold on a minute. Let me say what I mean. Do is much more Majin Buu looking than Ku. We can all attest to that. We can all agree to that, right? Majin Buu has the antenna. Majin Buu has the round, pudgy body. Do has a lot more of the he's got the mitten, one-fingered hands. Like, he looks a lot more like Majin Buu. At least Fat Buu to Kid Buu. Obviously, Super Buu and his iterations all have, articulate fingers and whatnot. But it was kind of like a little rematchy in a way, nothing, but just like a pseudo rematch from the Majin Buu saga. But Goku and Do go at it, and I know some of you are probably gonna be like, this is scaled all crazy, blah blah. No, remember, I've been saying for weeks that Do is clearly at around Kid Buu level based on how T1, T3, and T2 fought against Goku and Vegeta. Right? I know a lot of y'all probably can't imagine that, and you're all thinking like Kid Buu is even stronger than a Super Buu, a Ultimate Gohan, blah, blah, blah. Like, for those Kid Buu fanatics that want to sit there and go, well, Kid Buu has to be stronger. He's the last Buu. 1, no. 2, the manga says otherwise. 3, use your brain. Seriously? How would Kid Buu, who Goku was more than capable of going up against as a Super Saiyan 3, be stronger than a Super Buu, an Ultimate Gohan, a Piccolo, Goten and Goten, Trunks fused together? Like, really? Seriously? Come on now. Use your brains a little bit here, guys. I know y'all like Kid Buu, but come on, use your brains. But, again, going back to the way T3 and T2 fought against Goku and Vegeta throughout the series, I was like, okay, T1 clearly is going to be the strongest, and the way I'm gauging this, Goku and Vegeta are definitely stronger than they were a year ago. Not by huge margins, but definitely stronger than they were a year ago, so I would put T1 around Kid Buu level, for sure, really, and then Do pretty easily handed his ass for the most part. So I'm like, okay, so Do is clearly probably a little bit stronger than Kid Buu overall based on the scaling of it. And so you give him this fight, and Goku again, doing Goku, fights him in his base form for a good plethora of it, then eventually transforms, and they're going back and forth, throwing hands. Goku's not in any real danger. I know some of you are going to be like, remember, this is Goku and Vegeta in a kid body. All of these guys are in their kid bodies. They're not... Yes, they may be able to transform and go into Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. Like, they might be able to still do all this stuff, but their bodies aren't like the bodies they were before. Like, if you think you guys are pretty strong and tough and durable now in your adult bodies, do you think if you got shrunk down back to being a kid and your body was that of your kid self, you think you'd be as physically strong? Like, do you be able, like, you think you would be able to take the same amount of damage that you could as an adult? No, you definitely couldn't. And that's the situation, like, them being kids in this series works in the favor of them not having to ultra scale these characters super strong from the jump. They don't have to scale Gomah and Do and Ku and all of them to an insane level because they made them kids, which makes, while Goku and Vegeta can access their transformations and still seem to have their power, their durability, the body can only handle so much. So they take a little bit more damage than they should be. It logically makes sense. Again, was it the decision I would have went with in the end? God, no. I would not have made them kids. But you can make it make sense, and it does work in a way. Anyway, the fight continues, and then they're interrupted by Gomah. Gomah jump. He's coming out. Like, we see Gomah crawling up out of this stuff, and Gomah's got, because remember, from last episode, Gomah got the third eye, and he's big old Hulk mode now. He confronts them, starts blasting them, and they're like, Gomah, this is Gomah, blah, blah. And remember, Goku and them haven't seen what Gomah looks like. So they're like, this is Gomah to them. Like, they're like, oh, this is Gomah. And they're like, holy crap. Like, okay, I can see why people said stuff about him, right? And Bulma was like, wait a minute, the third eye, because Risu notices the third eye, kind of spooks her. Then Bulma's like, the third eye, and like Kadan and his crew were like, talking about the third eye, and Bulma's like, third eye, and she looks at Hibis and she's like, yo, that looks like the belt buckle thing you used to have. And Hibis is like, an eye is an eye, an eye is an eye. And I'm like, oh man, this guy. Hibis, you make me love you in every episode because your entire lack of care is so hilarious. But another thing, Bulma mentioned too, I believe it was Piccolo. Yeah, I believe it was Piccolo. That like before Goku and them start fighting, or right after Goku and Do start fighting, she points out that Ku and Do look like Majin Buu. And Piccolo's like, yeah, I've noticed that too. Right, so they're aware of it, right? They're aware of how Ku and Do look. Did they really like put any emphasis or like put much stock behind it? No, but they definitely have made notice of it. So then Gomah starts displaying his magical power. He uses the magic, and again, magic. Really got to emphasize this stuff. Magic is really heavily pushed in this episode, like in this series. Magic. So he starts using his magic. He warps this like island thing together with these huge tendrils coming up over it, and he starts fighting everybody. Well, Vegeta jumps in to start fighting him, and he handles himself against Vegeta really well. Then Goku, after seeing like how well Gomah is holding his own against Vegeta, Goku from the jump was like, all right, we all got to jump in. We like, anyone that can help needs to go help. So, and Bulma was like, that's not usually a thing for Goku. Like, Goku's willing to throw hands with anybody, even if they're stronger than him, at least by himself. The fact that Goku is straight from the jump saying, yo, we've got to jump in and all help, shows you that Goku is aware of the situation, and he's not trying to be the big hero. And so like he knows, he's like, hey, we all got to jump in and help. Like, we can't just do this stuff by ourselves. So for those of you that keep wanting to say, when you look back at classic Dragon Ball Z and be like, oh, Goku just fibs and lies, he knows how strong he is. No, Goku knows when he stands a chance and when he does not stand a chance, okay? Goku knows that. Super may have made him kind of wonky, but for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z Goku, and clearly Dragon Ball Daima Goku is aware of, do I have a genuine chance against this by myself? Yes or no? Yes, then he tries to fight by himself. If he doesn't, if he's like, nope, there's no way I have a chance by myself, then he's like, no, we got to team up, right? That's why he urges Vegeta to fuse against Buhan. That's why he urges people to help him out when things get crazy, because he's like, I know I don't have a chance by myself. And if you're like, well, what about with Frieza? Goku in that moment was hopeful, but he's also like, Piccolo, you got to get Krillin and Gohan out of here. Like, my son is in immediate danger. I could use your help, sure, but like, y'all got to get the fuck out of here. So that's why, okay? Goku knows when he's in a good position and when he's not in a good position. You guys got to stop thinking he doesn't know this stuff. When it comes to fighting, Goku knows, okay? So everyone's fighting Gomah at this point. Like, they all fly off. Goku flies off. Piccolo flies off. Shin flies off. Glorio's like, hold the Dragon Ball. He flies off to help out. Even on Risu is like, hey, you two go help. So Do and Ku go help. Best boys. Hell yes. Best boys. They're good boys. Do and Ku are good boys. I really do hope they don't snuff them out or something bad happens to them. Or if something does, please bring them back, because they're good boys. They deserve their naps and their chocolates. And then, of course, everyone follows up behind afterwards. And this was the funny thing. This one scene, there was this scene right after this that Neva kind of has this little sly look on his face. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Are we about to get the big twist and heel turn of Neva? No. Neva just flies back to T1, and he keeps giving T1 this like look like, go help, go. Because again, the T's aren't supposed to leave their perch. And T1's like, what are you trying to say? What? And so he hits him with, I guess, the telepathy thing, and T1's like, yes, sir. And then T1 flies off to help out. So even T1 is helping in this fight against Gomah. And they're not really doing great against Gomah, but they're not really doing bad. Like, Gomah's getting the upper hand in a lot of situations, because again, most of these guys are all kids. Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Shin, they're all kids. So again, while they can still enhance and go into their strength, they are hindered just a tiny bit by being children. Okay, just gotta keep that in mind. And we already know that the Demon Realm members, like, we know they're not going to be strong enough to fight Gomah because they didn't even want to fight Gomah to begin with. So they're fighting it out and things are going back and forth. And there's this shot. And this is what I keep pointing out to you guys. And I've been saying it for weeks since basically episode fucking 3. The bugs that were introduced in episode 3 are going to be important. And I'm not talking about the stamina bugs or the sensu bugs or whatever you want to call them. I'm talking about the join bug. It was clear as freaking day that when they brought that up in episode 3 that it was going to be important, right, or episode 4, whichever one, right here is the proof behind it, because they're fighting and Goku gets hit with something, and as he's flying around and moving, his little pouch that holds him falls out, and it focuses on the fact that it falls out. Now I know some of you are going to be like, well, but later in the episode Vegeta's like, hey, do you have any more of those bugs to regain stamina? And that's when he loses it. Sure. But I promise you, it's because they're hinting at there's probably going to be a fusion. They introduced the join bug. If there was no plan for a fusion whatsoever, why introduce a bug that works like fusion? Why introduce a bug that they say, oh, 3 people can take a piece and fuse 3 people together? Like, why make that a thing? You want to make the sensu bugs a thing? Sure. You want to make the energy bugs a thing? Sure. But why introduce a fusion bug, basically, if there's no intention of using it? I promise you, we're gonna see it. I'll be damned if they don't use it, because they keep hinting at it heavily with these shots. So, hey, that shot happened. They're still fighting Gomah and everything. Not Piccolo. Jeez, I'm sorry. Vegeta's like, you got it? And we're like, we don't. I'm sorry. He's like, oh my god, it fell out. How did it? What? Again, this is not a Goku being dumb thing. It literally fell out while they were fighting. Makes perfect sense. So again, I think next episode, Ponzi or Bulma or someone's gonna pick it up and it's gonna get back to it, because man, that preview. Woo, we'll get to that preview. Okay, so the climax of this episode finishes out with Gomah's knocked everyone away. He grabs Goku by like a telekinesis grip, right? And he pulls him forward and he's holding him in his place. He's holding him down, and then he blasts it. He shoots a blast at him, right? We're like, okay. So my brain in this moment, I'm sure a lot of you were like, okay, Goku's probably about to transform, bust out, or something. You know, it's Dragon Ball. So you're like, he's going to either transform and negate the beam struggle, or someone's going to jump in and save him. And it was both. If you thought both were going to happen, wait. I was like, it's going to be one or the other, but I'm hoping it's both. Let's do this. If the beam's coming at him, and out of nowhere, T1 and Do jump in to hold back the blast. Now, my friend kind of bothered himself about this, and we'll get into that just a little bit. But they step in to block it. They're holding it back. Goku's like, all right, I've got to do this. I've got to go. Gomah, not really too bothered by it, finally just kind of pushes a little more effort behind it, knocks T1 and Do out of the way. But this is at the point that Goku starts transforming, and he transforms into Super Saiyan 3. We got Super Saiyan 3 Goku in the series. We got it. We kind of knew it was going to happen. We kind of knew that this was likely to be the case, because it's like, one, Goku has the transformation. We're probably going to see it. And again, this goes back to like that Vegeta episode with Super Saiyan 3. We all kind of assumed Goku would do Super Saiyan 3 if Super Saiyan 3 was going to happen. But we got it in this episode, and they kept to the fact that Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 is distinctly different than Goku's. And I actually really dig that. I really, really like the idea that Vegeta's is just different. I think it works aesthetically. I think it works when you start having these guys that have their unique look to transformations a little bit, kind of individualizes them, makes them something stand out a little bit more. I like it. And I like the idea that again, I haven't seen anyone mention this, at least I haven't seen it, but the idea of like the reason why Vegeta's looks this way is because Vegeta, his blood's different, so it reacts to it different. I'm cool with that, and it'd be a fine explanation, but I just like the fact that Goku's Super Saiyan 3 and Vegeta's Super Saiyan 3 looks different. Obviously, Goku's got the classic look that, you know, what we saw in the manga, and then Vegeta's clearly is a lot more reminiscent of like early designs that Toriyama did. But even if they come out like, that's why we did it, you know, that's why Toriyama put it in there before he passed, just to, you know, give a nod to early artwork or so he was saying, that's fine. If that's the sole reason, that's fine. I'm perfectly cool with that. But I just also like the idea that Vegeta's and Goku's look distinctly different. in their own unique ways. I really like that. But the episode ends off with Goku going Super Saiyan 3. So we are about to get Supreme Juiced Up Gomah with the third eye, or let me phrase that. I need a better name. Supreme Third Eye Demon King Gomah. God, that's an unnecessarily long name. Juiced Up Gomah. That's it. That's what I'm calling him. Juiced Up Gomah. Super Saiyan 3 next episode. And the preview is just clips of Goku and Gomah going at it. And I'm going to make this prediction for next week's episode at least, because again, they weren't kidding when they're just going to throw everything in these last few episodes. They really weren't kidding. And these last episodes are going to probably be crazy and insane the whole way through. And I'm so ready for it. Like, again, at this point, I said it last week, I don't need any more real lore. I don't need any more exposition. I don't need any more additional information. If you want to give us a little bit more, wait till the last episode. If you want to give us more information about the demon realm and characters and magic and all this stuff, save it for the last round. Save it for the last episode. Do not give me in these last several episodes up until the true finale episode. Give me nothing but action. Go balls to the wall, crazy with the action. I think that's about what we're going to get, because the preview, like I said, Goku and Gomah are going at it. Super Saiyan 3. They didn't show Vegeta joining in the fight, but I don't think he's out. They just didn't show it, right? So I think next episode we may see Goku Super Saiyan 3 versus Gomah. Vegeta Super Saiyan 3 against Gomah. I think we're gonna see it. And then how I feel like it might happen, because I keep pushing the bugs. I feel like Goku and Vegeta are going to be doing just fine as Super Saiyan 3 against Gomah, but then Gomah's going to probably do some crazy magic wonky shit and, just he's going to do something, right, to force Goku. And I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but he's going to do something. Something's going to be written. Maybe he'll pull like a Moro and grab them and like maybe draw on their energy or something, right? I don't know. Something like that. But Goku and Vegeta are going to be like, okay, Super Saiyan 3 is definitely more than enough to throw hands with him, but we need something. We need a little bit extra. We need something. Like, come on, we need something. And then Shin's gonna show up with the pouch, because someone's gonna find it and give it to Shin, and Shin's gonna go, we need to use this. I know you guys are doing just fine with the Super Saiyan 3s, but I think this will be the edge you're talking about. I think this will be the edge we need. And he's gonna pull out the joy bug, and of course Vegeta's gonna be like, the buggies and no fusion, but I think it's going to happen in the next episode. It's probably going to end, or at least midway through it. We're going to end either midway through next week's episode or towards the end of it. We're going to see a three-way fusion. Please, please, please let it happen. A three-way fusion with Goku, Vegeta, and Shin coming together. That way, you will have the power of Vegito with the weird, crazy magic of the Glens, because they always they're just pointing that stuff out. They've been pointing out throughout the whole series that the Glens are their own, like the Namekians are their own thing. The Glens are their own thing as well. So I think I just want to see it. Like I said, this series is the series to do crazy, wacky things in it, and to just say the reason why we can't do this again is because this was only possible in the Demon Realm. This is the time. Give me Supreme Vegito, Supreme Kai Vegito, or just Supreme Vegito, or even Vegito Kai, whatever name they come up with. That's what I want to see. But that's what I think next episode is going to happen. But this episode was just a fucking fun ass damn episode. Action galore. It looked fantastic. No story. It's just all action. And if I see a review that's like, oh, this was trash, then there's no pleasing you guys. There's no pleasing any of you, because this is what y'all wanted all series, action. And now you're going to get it and go, well, it didn't happen my way. It didn't go my way. It didn't go my way. Shut up. The series does not have to please you. It's meant to please what the writer wants. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But others will like it. And like I said, while I've liked this series from the jump, do I look forward to seeing Moro and Granola and whatever out and Black Frieza when that day comes? Yes, of course I am. But I've loved this series. Is it had its issues? Yes, of course it has. It's had its issues. Of course it does. Even classic Dragon Ball has issues. And I think classic DB Peel Off to 23rd is the best written section of the entire series. But even it had its own problems. Everything has its own problems. But that's everything's part of the course. This series has been a fun ride the whole time, and we are getting the action. And if that's all you've been wanting this whole time, here's the action. We're going to get nothing but action for the next several episodes. But if you don't like it, then there's just truly no pleasing you. But that's going to be my review for episode 17 of Dragon Ball Daima. Let me know. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode when you go watch it. And remember, like I said in the beginning, please go watch it first, then come back to the episode in the review, and then let me know in the comments below. But this is going to be it for everybody. This is going to be my review. And until next time, everybody, see ya.